so excited to have you all here today. And just to let you know, we like to keep this to around 30 minutes so that we can give you your time back. We know that there's so many things to do at the beginning of the year. So you'll be able to get to some of that today, and you'll be able to try out some of the things we talk about. All right. So today's agenda is introducing you to Read Theory. We're going to give you a little product tour and show you some ways to set up your classes. And there will be a designated Q&A. So at the end, you can write your questions in the chat. But if you do have a question in the meantime, feel free to use the chat as we're going along. And somebody from our support team will be answering you. And we can even revisit that during the Q&A. After the session, you can check your email. You're going to be getting about 2 hours after some Read Theory resources. So anything we're referring to, you'll be getting a link to it. You don't have to worry about trying to find these links as we're speaking to you. And you will also get your PD certificate for continuing education. All right, so again, about 2 hours after. All right, and some goals for today. By the end of today, you should be really comfortable with Read Theory and understanding how it works and how it helps your students with reading comprehension. And we're going to try our best to help you get these classes all set up, okay? If you find something really interesting or cool or fun, you could share about it on social media after. You could say, I went to this webinar, this is what I learned, and then you will get to pick some swag. So we have really fun t-shirts, and some teachers actually suggested these ideas for our shirts. So they're inspired by those ideas. And if you want instead, you could have these water bottle stickers. The kids are going crazy for them. They're like the waterproof ones. So yeah, please share away. And I know I didn't say it yet, but I am Carolyn from the marketing team here at Read Theory. And Courtney's also on today for this webinar. All right, so we're going to start with a poll. Let's see what you know. I'm going to turn it on in the chat. So you can just click on it and directly answer there so that your response will count in the statistics. And the question is, how much time do teachers spend differentiating instruction for students each week? What do you think? Do you think it's 2 hours, 3, 4, 5? All right, I'm going to close the poll, and we have responses all over with 3 hours and 5 hours in the lead. And the answer is actually 5 hours. And I think that I am a former teacher, and I think that you would probably agree it could even be more than that, right? There's so much stuff to do. So if you look here, you can see outside of teaching your students, look at all these millions of things that you have to do. Right? Grading and administrative work, which just keeps on coming, and professional development. And you're here right now on this webinar, right? So there's always something, but you're constantly growing and learning, just like your students, which is a good thing. But it's time consuming, right? So this is the reason that Read Theory started. It all ties together. There was a teacher in North Carolina who recognized this. He said, I have no time. I'm differentiating, but it's taking me a really long time. So he made all these worksheets really, and he shared them with his colleagues, and eventually Read Theory just kept growing and growing, and it was being shared, and it was turned into the adaptive platform that you know today, that's being used all over the world, which is a really amazing story. So how does it work? Well, it all starts with the students getting an account. You're going to set that up for them, and when they log in the first time, they take a pretest and they're assessed, and you'll be able to see how they did and what level they're at. And then the program is going to automatically adapt and differentiate for you. So if a student is doing really well, they'll get more challenging passages. If they're struggling, it'll get a little easier and automatically adjust for them. And then during this, you'll be able to monitor the progress, and you get data insights, and you can really keep track of every student. And we are anchored in the science of reading. So it's good to note this, that we're really focused on the language comprehension, reading comprehension part. So when you're using Read Theory, your students are learning about background knowledge, vocabulary, language structures, verbal reasoning, and literacy knowledge. And all of this is leading towards skilled reading. Okay, and I am just going to make this a little bit bigger for you now, so you could see that a little bit better. All right, and you can see all the parts of that. I'm sure many of you are talking about this in your schools. Okay, and really it could be used in so many ways, and that's why we see all these different types of teachers using Read Theory with their students, and they use it in different ways. And I actually love interviewing teachers. That's my favorite part of my job, and seeing how it's used in ESL classes, reading intervention. If you want to know more about it, you could look at our website, and there's some case studies there, and you can get really great ideas of what you can do in your own room. We've also done our research, and it is proven that Read Theory works, which is a great feeling. We've seen so much growth all around the world, and we recently did a study on state assessments here in the United States, and we studied students who didn't use Read Theory at all, students who had some Read Theory usage, and then students who were in schools that had high Read Theory usage. And across the board, the students with high Read Theory usage were succeeding and outperforming really the other students. And you could see more specifically, it was funny, it worked out to the same number, but in elementary school and middle school, they had 3.3 times the gains. And in high school, it was even more, 4.4 times. So we're really excited about these statistics. All right, so now Courtney's going to show you exactly how this works and the different experiences that a student and teacher can have. All right.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Okay. Here we go. So Carolyn mentioned this. The very first time your students log on to Read Theory, they'll be prompted to take a short pretest. This is going to take 15 to 20 minutes, and it's going to assess where they're starting at with the program. After that, after their initial pretest assessment, the next time they log in, they're going to be prompted to start a quiz. And they'll be able to see their level on Read Theory, how many knowledge points they've earned, how many quizzes they've passed. So they get to see kind of their own progress dashboard when they log in every time as well. What does it look like? The student experience, you're going to always have the passage on the left-hand side and then the multiple choice question on the right. This is what a lot of standardized tests look like these days. So a lot of teachers will also use this for test prep. When a student answers a question correctly, they're getting that positive reinforcement. They're seeing at the very bottom, nice work. You just answered a challenge question, so they know that that question was hard. It was hard for a reason. It's worth more knowledge points than a regular question. And they're getting feedback on why that answer was correct as well. So what are knowledge points? I'm going to show you where you can find how many knowledge points your students are earning when we go over the dashboards. But it's our fancy way of tracking and rewarding student growth. And we're spotlighting genuine reading over skimming. Students are getting badges, they're getting points for correct answers. And they can see this on their end, and you can see it on your end as well. So really quickly, this information is also in our help center, but a regular question answered correctly is 1 point, a challenge question is 3 points, passing a quiz is 15, and a perfect score, additional 15 is awarded. And then if you turn on the written response, then you can decide how many points you want to award for the written response question. And if you do turn on written response, it's just one question for each quiz. If I answer the question incorrectly, the program is going to automatically give the student feedback on why this is the correct answer. And it also tells them what standard they're working on. So they're having that visibility and transparency into what skill are they working on right now. And as a student, I can see my own progress, my own dashboard for a specific period of time. Teachers, depending on what plan you're on, you can decide how much visibility you want students to see into their own progress here, Lexile level, grade level, so on and so forth. And then I can see any writing that I've submitted as well. So I'm going to go ahead and share another tab, and we'll get into the teacher experience. And let's see. Okay. Here we go. So as a teacher, the very first time you log in, you're going to be prompted to create your first class. If you've used this in previous years and you're on today as a refresher, you can always create a new class using this blue button on top right on your My Classes page. But this is going to show me at a glance how many students in my class. I can also manage the class using the 3 dots here, view class roster, edit my class settings. I can invite a co-teacher right from here as well. And newly added, which is why it's right here on your classes page. I don't think it will live here forever. I think it will probably live in your class settings eventually, but just so that teachers know that this is now available, we've just launched Read Aloud. It's in a beta test right now, so some of you may have access to it. If you want access and you don't have access yet, you can let us know in the chat. We can turn it on for you. We're just getting some feedback from a small segment of users, and then we're going to be rolling it out to everybody. But this was something that a lot of teachers asked for, and so we built it. And it's also available for our free plan users. So something to check out for sure. Really quickly, I'm going to give you a very fast tour around. This is the 101 session. So basically, we go into more detail on each of these things in the 102 session, getting the most out of Read Theory. I know there's one happening next week, so you can check out the webinars page. I can show you how to get there at the end of this webinar. Progress reports. This is for my 101 class, and you can select the date range here. So if you are a teacher pro plan or a school plan, you'll have access to any time range that you want in terms of data. If you are on the free and basic plan, you'll have the last 30 days of data. So just keep that in mind when you go here to toggle on your calendar and when you're deciding what date range you want to pull. So quizzes taken is the first report you can see, and it gives you a really nice overview, how many quizzes taken, how many passed, same with grade level. What's really nice is you're seeing the pretest score and then how the student is performing as of their last assessment. So we're seeing here, John has a pretest level, grade 5, and now he's at grade 10. So you're able to see at a glance how students are doing. You can also sort this by grade level. So if you're putting students in small group or stations, this is a great view. Same with Lexile level. You can do the same exact thing based on Lexile level. Knowledge points. This is what we were talking about earlier. A lot of teachers will do competitions in their class based on knowledge points. So they'll say for the week, this is the knowledge points goal, and let's see how many of you can hit it. Some will do a Rising Star ceremony on Fridays. In the Resources Hub, we actually have bulletin board cutouts. You can make your own bulletin board and have a Rising Star ceremony where the student will move their star up the board depending on what level of knowledge points they earned that week. So it's a really fun, inspiring thing to do on Fridays, and it's all based around knowledge points. So you can see that here, kind of shows you a nice leaderboard. And then this engagement report is new, and I'm loading it for the whole class, so sometimes this takes a second to load. But what this will show you is basically how students are engaging with the platform, how long they're spending on the platform, when was the last time that they logged in, real-time activity, that kind of thing. It's great also for school administrators who are looking to see program adoption across the board. And then probably our most loved report is our curriculum standards report. So this report, as well as the engagement report, is a part of Teacher Pro and school plans. So you can actually see at a glance how your whole class is doing, or you can select a student if you only want to see at the student level. But it's a nice view of where your students are doing really well in green, and then I always kind of look for the orange. What do I need to focus on next? And you're seeing these core literacy skills and then the drill down. And then if I do click see details for each student, I can even see for each student how they're doing. And then I can also download this really nicely. I did pre-download this. So I get the PDF report. You can see how it's doing, Lexile level. These are great for IEP meetings or parent-teacher conferences, and it cuts out some of that work that Carolyn was talking about in the beginning with the poll question. Those 5 hours a week you're spending differentiating and another 3 hours grading. It kind of skips some of that for you and gives you some actionable things you can do in the process. All right, so that's reports, the My Students. Once you load your students, you're going to see them here. Written responses, if you have them toggled on, this is where you'll do it. You can toggle it on or off. And if students submitted, you'll see that here. And then activities. So there are a few different activities on ReadTheory. We won't get into these today. This will be a part of 102, but you can assign a reoccurring activity, which will remind students to complete, say, 5 passages a week, or they have to pass 5 quizzes a week. We have the ability to assign a specific passage from the library, or you can launch a competition with your students too. So those are 3 different activities that we have. You can also assign a retake of the pretest if for whatever reason you wanted to do that. Okay, so really quick, I'm going to show you how you create a class and add your students. Since this is 101, we do go over that in this session. So it's super easy. You're creating your class. You're selecting your grade level here. And if you want to add additional team members, co-teachers, this is where you do that. You can add them and we'll invite them to the class so they can see the reports. It's really helpful in terms of communicating with your team. You don't have to export anything. They can just log in and see exactly what you're seeing. This is where you're able to choose if you want your students to see the grade level or Lexile level. If you want to turn on read aloud for your students so that they can highlight a piece of text. It can be a word, it could be a paragraph, or it could be the entire text that's read aloud to them. So you can turn that on or off. And then if you have Teacher Pro or you're on a school plan, then your ads are automatically turned off for you. And you do have control over the limit of grade level range for your passages. You don't have to do that because the platform's really great about it. But if for some reason you wanted to manipulate this yourself, you could do that as well. So for the sake of this, I'm going to go ahead and create my class just so you can see how to add your students. So there's 2 different ways to add students. The easiest way probably is through class code. All you do is you copy paste the code and share it with students when they sign up on readtheory.org. And when they sign up using this class code, it's going to automatically link them to your account. So that's probably the most popular way. Another way to do it is by uploading your class roster, and then you'll get an email with their student credentials. So you click create accounts. You can import from a CSV by clicking this little button here or here, and it will automatically generate the usernames and passwords, and you'll get login cards that you can print for your students. So either way works. I'm probably a fan of the class code for certain. That does make things really, really easy. All right, and that's it. That's a quick tour around, and we can head back to the deck and take some questions.
Okay.
All right.
I don't know.
If you're interested in trying out some of what we talked about today with the ELA curriculum standards report, or you want a longer time range of student history and data insights, you can use this QR code to grab a 30-day free trial of the Teacher Pro plan. So I highly recommend doing that. And we just launched the offer in the chat. So you can also just click on that if you're on a laptop and you don't want to use your phone. Either way, we'll get you to the same form. You request the trial, and then we get it started for you. So yeah, let's see. Any questions? We can go over some of the community stuff and upcoming webinars while we wait for some questions.
Okay. Should we go to the next slide?
Yeah.
Okay. So, okay.
Upcoming PD, the 102 session goes into more detail. So definitely check that out. Oh, the resources page. So I'm not sure if I can actually share my screen and show this as well. Let's see, theory.org. Actually, you can get to it from here. So you can, Carolyn, you can just click my screen to make it bigger. Okay, so to sign up for additional webinars and grab some of the free resources that we talked about, from your account, you can go to Resources Hub, and it's loading. Oh my goodness. Here we go. And there's 3 sections here. So the top section is all about keeping students engaged. So we got monthly student trackers, knowledge point trackers, achievement certificates, those bulletin board cutouts I talked about if you want to do a knowledge point ceremony. And here is where you can sign up for additional webinars and PD. Every webinar, you'll get a CEU credit certificate emailed after the webinar. This quick start checklist is new. It's amazing. Teachers are really loving it. It's helping teachers get started and really understand the platform. So check it out. Help Center, minute tutorials, anything you could possibly need is all right here. And then there is a part where you can join the community. So teachers are using ReadTheory all around the world. It's so amazing to see how teachers are using it and how creative they are embedding it within their routines in their classrooms. If you want ideas, you need a refresh, definitely check out the community, get in there, poke around. But mostly let us know if you have any questions. We're a small team and we are here for you. So we know it's the beginning of the school year. We know you've got a lot going on. Many of you will watch the recording of this because you weren't able to make it live today, and that's fine too. So just know that we're here for you. So support at readtheory.org. And then we do have 3 different plans at ReadTheory. So I wanted to share that as well. And then I'll stop sharing so Carolyn can pull up the slide. But we have our free and basic plan, which is how a lot of teachers will get started using ReadTheory. It's a great way to start personalizing learning at no cost. However, it is supported by ads, and it does have limited history and data for students. So if you're looking for those data insights and you kind of really want to know how to intervene early, Teacher Pro plan will probably be for you. So you can check that out on the pricing page of our website. And then we do have school and district plans as well. So if you have more than 100 students in your class, or you have more than just you as a teacher using it in your school, if there are other teachers or support staff using it, you may want to look into school plans as well. And Olivia is on today, and you could actually reach out to her directly And she put her email in the chat already if you're interested in bringing Read Theory to your school. So there you go. There you have it. We know this is a busy time. So thank you all for taking time to learn more about Read Theory. Hope we see you at the 102 session, and have a great school year.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye, all.